welcome once again to Boost, Booze and Barbecue. This is your host, Andy.
And Coy.
And special guest today, someone that I'm very excited about because I'm a huge fan of what he does. Tony Barthel, how are you doing, man? Because World of Speed, it was the happiest place on earth.
Why? And my whole objective
With a supercharged Chevy SS that likes to be as loud as possible.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, and the one thing about World of Speed, I got to say, I saw so sad I never had a chance to go there. You guys are the people why they're closed. I was still in my 20s when they opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a German bock style beer. It's a nice, not too hoppy, 7% beer. So,
I'm sorry, Lake County. Where exactly are you located?
Lake County is Northern California. We're about 2 hours from Sacramento.
Okay.
We're on Clear Lake. A lot of people have heard of Clear Lake, and that is thought to be the second oldest lake in the world.
Wow.
So, there you go.
Oh,
How
okay.
close is that to the Peterson Car Museum?
Oh gosh, that's Southern California, so that's LA. So we're plenty far from there. That's
okay.
8-hour drive or so.
So if all of the cars from World of Speed end up at the Peterson Museum, I won't feel too hard feelings about you?
Yeah, we have no car museums up here.
You've got the train museum, though, man. Sacramento has the super train museum.
Yeah. I love
Cool
that
in its
place.
own right.
Yeah, it's so well done, that train museum. It is so well done.
I have a soundbite for this.
Okay.
Well, I feel like nerds. I feel like all car guys are a little bit like they're mechanical guys, and trains are kind of they're in there. And it's
funny.
Trains are the great equalizer. Like my 4-year-old is as much into trains as his 6-year-old grandpa, and like we're all kind of like, oh, trains, we'll check it out. Everybody's just enough into trains to be into it.
Yeah, I love trains too. In fact, I'm the idiot who used to own 11 railroad cabooses. So, and I'm not talking models.
Wow. Was that for your camping resort?
It was, yeah. We had a bed and breakfast made out of railroad cabooses.
Dude, that is awesome. Coy?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, you should come down and check that out. It's really cool. It's right on the lake, so you can get a fast boat if you want and play out on the lake and sleep in a caboose.
The house that I live in now it's kind of on the end of a long gravel lane, and I looked at the property right at the beginning of it, and it was just bare land with a railroad caboose on it. That was it. There was no house or anything, and we checked it out, and like the caboose went with the land. I'm like, boy, that'd be pretty cool. Caboose man cave, and I kind of fantasized about it, thought how cool it was. That place was bought and the caboose disappeared, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Whoever bought it got rid of the caboose. And then I see like 3 houses down across the street, that dude has a caboose. I'm like, oh, he just took it across. Turns out they trucked that away to somebody like in another state, and this other dude bought a caboose just about the same time.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's so weird.
Yeah, you'd think they could just figure out. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
And they're not cheap to ship.
Oh no, they're crazy expensive to ship, I imagine.
I can't just hook that thing to my Ford F-150 and drag it?
If it'll tow about 60,000 pounds.
Yeah. Well, and then
trailer.
plus all the overweight permits and oversized permit or whatever.
Oversize and
and Tony, speaking of oversized, I feel like that's a good segue because let me tell you something about my style of camping. It's stressless, son.
Like, you are the man.
I want it to be as easy as possible. I want if I was going to do a camper van, I would want that van to have 4 tip outs, okay? Like I want absolute comfort.
You want it to have a fireplace and a patio?
And a kegerator.
Oh, that, yeah. Well, you know what I want to do? I want to put a kegerator tap or just a tap in the side of my trailer, but I could just see every other guy in the campgrounds like, that guy's got a tap. And then middle of the night, you hear as everyone's filling their growlers.
Yeah, you got to get like a fingerprint, like a gun safe.
I'd just wrap a chain around it, chain that bad boy up. That way everybody knows I know exactly what they're doing.
I would try just putting a can that said $2, like just,
Oh, honor system, yeah.
Yeah, see how that works.
And then somebody's going to come and go, oh, good, they're going to pay me and I can have beer.
So, Tony, talk to us about your show, man, Stressless Camping. What brought that around?
Well, I have been, I love anything that's mechanical, cars, as you already know, trains we've talked about. When I was a kid, my parents would take us to the county fair, and all the other kids would go and ride the rides and all that. I would go straight for the RVs and annoy those poor salesmen. I love RVs, and I worked in the RV industry for a few years. And one of the things I saw was a lot of people had the same challenges and the same fears to overcome, and there's a lot of mind games people play with themselves about, oh, I want to do this, but but and all that. And so I thought, well, what if we could just make it an easier experience? And we were traveling with a friend of ours, and she goes, "You mean like stressless camping?" It's like, oh, there you go. So we do a podcast and website all about the American RV experience, and it's called Stressless Camping.
I love that. I absolutely love it, because I'm actually one of those people too. My wife and I, we don't have an RV, but we go to RV shows just to look around. It's actually kind of a pastime for us. I don't know why. I think it's because she likes to make out in the bathrooms.
Oh, there you go. I always wonder how many people actually use the bathroom at an RV show, and I'm not talking about the outbuildings.
People use the bathroom at Home Depot sometimes, you know what I mean, to display.
I'm sure they do.
When there's a 4-year-old and he sees a toilet and he's got to go, he's going. It doesn't matter if it's instant lawn under it. Like, it's not much you can say.
Yeah.
So where's the teepee?
Well, doesn't this come hot on the heels of you have an RV park, right?
No, I don't.
I'm sorry. You have a resort.
Well, we did. We sold it 4 years ago now. And so, but it was a bed and breakfast, not an RV park. This is just a passion of both my wife and I, and the RV industry, and she worked there too. She actually worked at a manufacturer when she was a young lass, and I worked at a dealership. I handled warranty, repairs, and sales, and boy, that was interesting.
So you're either a patient man or you're part demon.
I would say demon.
Yeah. I have a pop-up tent trailer that I bought new and had some small warranty issues that they just had to replace like the whole roof. So yeah, it was cool. But since then, it's been stressless. I've super enjoyed owning a pop-up tent trailer.
They're great, and you can store them in a garage if you have to, and tow them behind almost anything. Pop-up tent trailers, and there's even some where you can raise and lower the tent part with a remote control. I mean,
yeah, mine's electric. Nice. It's not a remote control, but it is has like a little winch that lifts it up and down. It's off-road versions lifted with tires, and I drag it out in the desert and all over the place. And
absolutely,
I love it.
Yeah, so it's one of the things that really taught me is there's also a huge difference from some brands of RVs to the others. So everyone says, oh, the RV industry, or they'll name a manufacturer and go, God, they're nothing but trouble. And the way the individual branches of those big companies handle warranty repairs and warranty claims is very different from one another. There were brands where, when you sign up as a dealer, you say, okay, you have to order this many units. And there were brands where we would order that many units and go, oh God, we're never ordering these again. They're terrible. But there's also ones where it's like, God, you have a claim, you either call or fill in the warranty claim, and boom, they're on it. They'll overnight you the parts, and they're fantastic. So
my dealer, mine was a Forest River, but they were super good about doing the warranty claim, but the individual dealerships locally, it's not like having a Honda and you need a warranty done. You just go to whatever Honda's closest to you. The closest one to me was like, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. And I had to shop around till one was like, you will do it even though you didn't buy it from us. And since I bought mine in California, I wasn't going to truck it all the way back to get it done at that one, So that was my stress part of it. But once I found somebody to do it, easy peasy.
That's up to the discretion of the local dealers. And there is such a shortage. I mean, if anybody's kind of handy with tools or good with their hands and they want a career that's going to pay well and last them a long time, the RV industry is absolutely starving for techs. I mean, you literally, there's the RV Technical Institute, which is the RV Industry Association school. You go, you take the classes, and you're like beating the the jobs off with a stick. It's amazing the opportunity there is. So,
and
my producer who's 19 is listening to you say that, and he's giving me this look like I might be done here. This might be my last week.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, if you get a van and you go down by the river. Oh wait, no, that's a different thing. You get a van and you put RV repair on it, and you just drive through any RV park. They're going to be flagging you down, and it's $100 just to walk up to the front door. So it's a huge opportunity out there. And so back to why the dealer wouldn't work on your RV. A lot of times they can only find qualified techs to work on what they've actually sold there. So it's an issue in the RV industry.
Yeah.
Can I ask you? I don't want you to tell me, the RV manufacturers that you hate. But if a person was going to run out right now and get an RV, are there a couple, 3 brands that you really sort of gravitate towards?
Yes, without a doubt. And they're not, the obvious one is the really expensive stuff like the Airstreams and such. You don't even have to go there. Things like,
you don't go there, or you do?
Well, you can if that's your budget. But the obvious thing about them is, they're expensive, but they're good.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But you don't have to spend that money. Forest River has a brand called Rockwood.
Oh, that's what I have.
Is that what you have? Yeah, they're fantastic. It's a good brand. And then their sister brand is Flagstaff. They're the same trailer, just different stickers. Those are good. Winnebago does a really good job too, and now they own a company called Grand Design, and those are good. So any of those, Keystone's Bullet and Outback are 2 brands that I really like. So those will give you a good range of high quality trailers. My favorite are the Rockwoods. That's what I have too.
So this is a weird little thing that I found out when I was shopping for trailers, and it might not be true 100% across the board, but yeah, the Flagstaff and the Rockwood, mine's a Rockwood ESP 1640, and the Flagstaff was something, but they're literally the same other than the color. But the Flagstaffs were more expensive, but we liked the color better. And we're like, they're the same trailer, why can't we get it? It depends where they're made. So the Flagstaff factory and the Rockwood factory, they were the same, but they weren't out of the same plant. And so it costs more to ship the Flagstaffs to where I live than the Rockwoods. So we started looking around, and it's actually, the Rockwoods were cheaper for us because what I came to find was they're shipped less. So they're $600 cheaper or something.
I think a dealer was pulling your legs because really? there is basically, they're all made in Millersburg, Indiana, and Rockwood is the number 1 selling laminated travel trailer in California, for example. Yet they all come from Millersburg, Indiana, and there's about a $3,300 charge to ship one of those trailers out. So you think there's a big price premium, whereas like Bullets are made in Oregon. There's the Cherokees are made up in Oregon also. So there's a lot of trailer brands that are made on the West Coast.
There's a Forest River plant in Oregon too.
Yeah, that's Cherokee.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, and also R-Pods. They make R-Pods.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I've driven by theirs.
And so why would Rockwood sell so many? They're just good trailers. And R-Pod is also a decent trailer.
Oh yeah, the R-Pods. Yeah. I know somebody that bought one of those because they could tow it with their Honda Ridgeline.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, they're a narrow body trailer, so they're a little bit easier to tow. Right. And they're light.
So you're a trailer expert, or at least compared to us. And here's something I've learned about my trailer. I think it's a good trailer, but it seems like it's a constant maintenance, like, especially with me taking a lot of gravel roads. It's held together with staples and stuff. Like, I wouldn't expect everything to stay exactly, but I'm constantly, I got little things. I got to this fire extinguisher mount fell off, so it's screwed in. So I go ahead and I put a nut on the back of it. I got little things I'm kind of always doing. They're not big deals, but what are some simple maintenance things to get ahead of some of that stuff that you would recommend?
Really, the biggest thing is leaks. Leaks are what kills RVs, and in pop-ups, it's not as bad, the roof structure, but in most travel trailers, they use a rubber roof, and those are guaranteed for 12 years. So people think, oh, my roof's guaranteed for 12 years. But there's a bunch of holes in it, like where the skylight is, where the refrigerator vent is, where there's a vent hole for the sewer system, and all of those little holes, and around those is a flexible sealant. And that tends to fail just from sun. And, these things go down the road, and they're basically wobbly boxes. Thank you, Perry, for that vision. The guy I used to work with who owned the dealership said they're wobbly boxes. But anyway, so they have to be flexible so that they don't basically shatter as you're going down the road. But a lot of people don't maintain those flexible seals, so they dry out and crack, and then you get water damage and mold, and a trailer that could last 20 years is going to last 5. I've seen 5-year-old trailers that were just junk because they never had any maintenance done to them. And tires, too. Tires are another thing. RV manufacturers are notorious for putting the cheapest, lousiest tires on these trailers.
Brother. My father-in-law had this big, I don't even remember what brand, but it was a big fifth wheel toy hauler, and it was a 3-axle one. And I kid you not, every time we went out with them, he had a blowout. Like, he carried 2 spares, and without doubt, I brought tire changing tools. Because 100% of the time, you'd have a blowout.
Yeah, a lot of these manufacturers they call them China bombs because they're these terrible Chinese-made trailer tires that just and on top of that,
that was a Trumpism if there is such a thing. That was so good.
Hold on,
China
Tony.
bomb.
Hold on, Tony. China.
China bomb. Okay, sorry.
I just love that. I think it's fun. And now I'm gonna just imagine him saying it. But it's a common thing in the RV industry is the China bombs. And they just you'd expect a tire would go 20, 30,000 miles. Nope. A lot of these tires, I mean mine, after 8,000 miles, I had one, and I'm meticulous about maintenance, and it just quit holding air. It's like, yeah, I'm done, dude.
Wow.
And my trailer's 3 years old, so it was 2 at the time. So 2 years and 8,000 miles is all I got out of a tire.
So let me ask you something, man. One thing that I've noticed, especially the last couple of years, Coy and I have gotten really serious about looking at RVs. We haven't quite pulled the trigger yet, but we're getting really close. It's just she and I. We're not taking our cats with us when we travel. We don't have kids, anything like that. And so we're really looking for a king-size bed, a full-size bathroom, and then the rest of the trailer can be relatively small. That is a tall order to fill. I mean, just about every small trailer is going to have bunk beds and a tiny little futon type thing for the parents to sleep in. It's been difficult for us to find a trailer that really is just sort of comfortable for 2 people. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's a few. I mean, it depends on your price category, but a lot of people avoid the Rockwood and Flagstaff trailers because they have Murphy beds. But God, they're great because in a small trailer in the day, the bed's up and you have a couch with footstools on it, and at night, obviously, the bed flips down and you have a bed. And I personally like that, but I like flexible space, so that's something to look at, is either a Rockwood or Flagstaff trailer. I think the Bullets which are made in Oregon, have a real queen size bed now. The newer ones have a queen size bed. So Kings, you're not going to find a lot of in a travel trailer just because of the width.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, a lot of RVs have what they call RV Queen or RV King mattresses, where they're actually shorter by up to 8 inches. So.
Oh, right. I don't mind sticking my feet off because I got a lot of problem with my ankles anyway, so not really a big deal.
Okay.
And I have a short wife, so it works out.
That's good.
So before we move on to our segment that I'm really looking forward to, Coy, This is going to be the first time that we do this segment. It's something that I'm really looking forward to. Anyways, before we move into that, I'm wondering what your thoughts are about some of the hot rod shops recently that have been doing hot rod RVs.
It's there. There's I think a 73 Winnebago Brave that is one of the fastest RVs in the world or something like that. I mean, how cool is that, right? It's just like cars. There's something for everybody, but you take these old RVs and you put an LS1 with a supercharger on it, and man, that's a whole lot of fun.
That's right. And the RV that he's talking about is one of my personal favorites. It's a hot rod shop where they essentially told a friend of theirs who was going to an auto auction, hey, if you see something that you like, what was it? Either a Barrett Jackson or a Mecum, right? He told his buddies, if you find something that you like for me and I'd like an RV, just go ahead and pick it up. And basically this dude spent way too much money on this Winnebago and then delivered it to him and was like, here you go, losers. Where's my $15,000? And they were like, what? And so at that point, it was decided for them that they needed to build a project RV. And so it's not really an
sounds
RV.
like a Monkey Business Garage episode.
Monkey. Why am I missing the name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the crazy Dodge advertisement guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
The dude that's not actually a car guy that doesn't know anything about cars. Anyway, so these guys, they LS swapped it. They put a turbo kit on it. And I believe it is the fastest RV in the world right now. It runs like 11.3 or something like that.
But there's a GMC motorhome, which was a front wheel drive Toronado engine. And there's one of those that's been hot rodded too. Check that thing out.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Gosh, I don't know. Producer Nick, do you think you can pull something up for us?
Are you a bit of a Winnebago expert? Or
I wouldn't say expert, but I like them.
I just find it. Okay, I just find it super interesting. Winnebago's made a bunch of like kind of non-RV weird stuff. Like I got a guy I work with, and he has a Toyota Blazer. And it's basically a prequel to a Toyota 4Runner, but at Winnebago, it was like a Winnebago kind of made them. Or I mean, they took these Toyota like 81s or something, and it made it like a 4Runner, and it's a Winnebago thing.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
But did you know Winnebago made flying motorhomes or flying RVs?
That sounds so 80s.
They actually took
that is Knight Rider
surplus helicopters and turned them into RVs.
Yeah, and I know Winnebago has done some like weird conversions, and I always find them super fascinating.
My wonderful wife is bringing me a new beer because somehow my old one has disappeared.
Uh-oh. I hate it when that happens.
Oh, and now we're going to 805s.
Oh yeah, Lagunitas. I love Lagunitas.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're not. This is a Lagunitas. I had some 805s in the fridge, but I also have Lagunitas.
I will tell you right now, the Cappuccino Stout from Lagunitas, that's one of my favorite beers.
I love those stouts that are more than just a stout.
Mm-hmm.
Barrel aged and such, just it floats my boat. And Anderson Valley does some good ones too.
Oh yeah. So tomorrow, and this is just a shameless plug for you guys, tomorrow we're doing a virtual tasting, as we have been doing Monday evenings over on the Pardon My Fork channel, and we're going to be featuring 2 beers from Barcidius, a local brewery, and these 2 beers, absolutely fantastic. One of them is an orange chocolate porter, and one of them is a Russian Imperial Stout, and they are gorgeous. Don't worry, Coy, I'll have you taste them before you leave.
The orange chocolate porter sounds like that would tick my boxes.
How many hours do you think I am from you? Because I might be able to. I'm just saying.
See, you're about Sacramento 10? I don't know, somewhere there.
Nah, I bet he could do it in 8.
I won't bring the trailer because they probably wouldn't let me back into the state, right?
Probably not, honestly.
See, I actually drove down there to pick up my tent trailer. Was it Chico?
Okay.
Somewhere in there. It's supposedly the biggest RV dealer in the nation or something down there. It was over by Stockton.
Yeah.
But I remember it being an 11-hour drive, and I just did it on a weekend. Just went down there, picked it up, and just hauled straight back, and then stumbled in my house, passed out.
So 11 hours for some great beers. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See you first thing in the morning.
Don't worry, I'll find a way to get you shipped down some. All right, Coy, we're bringing it back, son. The Smokin Deal or Smokin a Doob. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, I am.
And
especially
Tony?
This episode. We're doing a special double.
Yeah, we're doing a double header
just for Tony.
So Tony, I sent you one. Producer Nick is going to go ahead and send you a second one as soon as we're through some of this heads up stuff. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
And we've got a new.
I was looking at this one.
We've got a new intro. I don't think you're going to be able to hear the sound, Coy, which is a total shame, but the folks at home will.
Hit it, Nick.
Smokin Deal or
In a second, he'll hit it.
Smokin Doobie.
Smokin Deal or Smokin a Doob. And today it's a special RV edition. Just because of you, Tony.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
This thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I don't even know what to say about this, man.
Well,
okay, so hold on. So for the podcast listeners, 1987 Ford Coachman 400, or is that a 450?
450.
I think it's 450.
It's 450.
So we are talking OG status. Okay, would you go ahead and open the seller's description there, producer Nick? 5.8, so it's got a 351, not bad. 96,000 miles, which for a van, low. For an RV, quite high, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
The thing that really throws me off, though, is the photo of them opening the back door and simply showing a toilet.
Well, how much fun would that be? You're rolling down the road, Grandpa's at the wheel, you fling open the back doors, and you just, especially in LA, if you could take this down to LA and sit in traffic when it comes back and do that, would that not be a good time? And here's a little bonus. Notice it's a Ford van, but it's a Dodge hubcap on that spare tire.
Ooh,
good eye, Tony.
catch.
Yeah, it's an old Dodge.
Look at that.
Oh,
Here's my thing with the doors and the toilet right there. I like it.
yeah.
I like it a lot. Think of this. You
And
drive
that way
this.
you don't know if you're coming or going.
Well, think about this. You drive this thing out. You're in the desert. You're just primitive camping.
Mm-hmm.
You get up in the morning. You have your first cup of coffee. Get everything moving. You brew up your second cup of coffee. You pop the back doors open. You climb there. You're watching the sun come up. You're doing, like every man, you're living on the toilet, having that. I mean, what's better?
You're doing God's work in that moment.
You can hear the birds chirping. Maybe a jackrabbit runs by.
Oh, and here's the best part: you're sitting on that toilet backwards, almost like you were sitting on a chair in school backwards, like the cool kids did.
Yeah,
And you're just doing your business, baby.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good time. Doors open, just enjoying the sunrise.
Tony, tell me what's less stress than pooping backwards on a toilet while watching the sunrise out of the back of your van.
And you're looking out for number one while you're doing number two.
Boom.
And it's when it's on backwards, that's like a coffee table. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Every cup sitting there.
Yeah, it's just right there, isn't it?
Here, keep going through the photos there, producer Nick. This thing, wow.
It's actually, truthfully, it's not a bad RV, and I could see a serial killer or a rapist really digging this thing.
I don't know why rape keeps coming up in all our shows lately.
Looking at these pictures,
Technically, this could be a Ford rapist as well. A Ford raped her.
at some point there was a hood ornament on that hood, and it's just missing.
Now, I'm going to throw this out there. If you wanted to flip this thing, if you four-wheel drive converted this and threw some 33-inch mud terrains on it, I think you could sell it for a lot of money.
Look,
Oh, yeah.
Those four-wheel drive conversion vans go for crazy money.
Yeah, and right now there's a whole
Overland movement.
overlanding. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm the resident, air quotes, overlander.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get a few rattle cans of like a Bondo looking paint, and you rattle can this thing, and you call it like an overlander, boom, you've doubled your money.
Yeah, I'm saying you throw some 33-inch, just BF Goodrich all terrains, and I bet you could full drive swap that thing for. I mean, you Craigslist the parts. I bet you could do it for $1,200.
So hold on a second. When you talk about doubling your money, now we have to get to the part about the money. In the ad, it says $7,900. I have a feeling they didn't get too many bites at $7,900, and so they reduced it to $6,800. And here's the thing I like about the seller description. Okay, good, unrestored, original condition, Class B motorhome. Normally, if something says unrestored and original, it means it's a bar find. This is not a barn find. This is an old RV van. Now, like you said, Tony, very well equipped. I'm honestly quite surprised, and I would be happy to camp in something like this, provided I knew that it wasn't full of fleas and bed bugs and someone else's blood.
Yeah, well, okay. You were. I think you're okay on the fleas and the bed bugs, but someone else's blood part. I don't know.
I wouldn't hit this thing with a black light just for your own personal. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't go there. Here's what I like though. This guy needs to get the selling for dummies. Motivated seller. Don't be afraid to make offer. You're supposed to let them make the offers, not let them know to give you a lower price. Like, that's kind of the first rule in bargaining. Well, is not to bargain with yourself before someone else bargains with you.
I think that's his way of letting people know, like, I don't actually know how much this should go for. And that's why we have you on, Tony. So let's hear your thoughts, man. Break it down for us.
Well, I mean, truthfully, again, this goes back to just about every RV ad I've ever seen. Learn to take some pictures, turn the lights on, take the junk out. I mean, for God's sake, it's not that hard, people. I see some clear examples of water damage in this thing. If you look at the walls above the windows and the shower and all of that. So 6,800, it looks like for those who can't see this, it's basically a Ford Econoline van. And then there's a big plastic cap on top, which is where your head would be if you're standing up. And apparently the bed might be up there, too. He didn't bother to take a picture of that.
You can see kind of an attic door thing.
Yeah. 6,800 sounds like a lot of money. Though the refrigerator's clean and the air freshener in the fridge indicates it probably smells really good, too.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to say, he's already saying, make me a lower offer. I'm willing to. And we got to go out. Everything on Craigslist right now, I'm looking at these. It's COVID money, you know, stupid lowball everyone because they might bite because they're broke. Taking that into consideration, what kind of offer would you shoot this guy if this was what you're into?
Well, okay, you notice the stickers are still good, so it may have been kept in some garage somewhere, but I wouldn't go more than $3,500 for this thing.
Yeah.
Though it does have cool fog lights.
It does.
But I like that. That's a good low ball, just 50% off. Boom.
Yeah, boom, half price.
Yeah. Okay, Rick Harris, calm down. I'm sorry, buddy. The best I can do is $2,500.
Got to pump those numbers down.
And I'll tell you what, man, I do like the van. I like the conversion fan. I'm a big fan of the van. If we could make a website called onlyvans.com, I would be in it to win it, baby. Like I am a fan, okay? But they have always seemed ridiculously overpriced to me, and
you could be abducted at vansonly.com.
Ooh. Why get abducted by anyone else? Bing!
By the river!
Yeah.
All right, so you're going $3,500. What are you landing at, Coy, to take this thing home today?
Man, I'm looking at this as the four-wheel drive conversion. I know all the overland guys.
But also keep in mind, would it need a deep clean, but as Tony pointed out, it's probably got some water damage.
Some water damage. And maybe that's not water damage, you know? Maybe that's...
what is it, jizz damage? It's not going to be the same.
That's what I was going to go with. Maybe that's from, water trying to get out.
It was from the sacrificial lamb on top.
If I took a look at it and it didn't look like there was like too many killings in it.
What's that number though?
Huh? Oh, it's 4.5.
How many killings?
It's 4.5. Okay. Yeah, that's Google it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Everybody's number is different.
Yep. No, you can Google it. That's a Googleable number. It's 4.5. And I have a soft spot for Ford vans because my dad had a Ford Econoline that became like the 16-year-old car, and I rotted the daylights out of that thing. So I know they're tough. That 3,500 feels like a good number. I might say as high as 4, depending on condition.
I'm lowballing all of you guys. I'm gonna.
We went 50% off.
Well, make sure that I'm the dude that calls first, then, because I'm gonna offer this guy 2,000, and I'm gonna tell him like I'll give you $2,000, and trust me, that is a generous offer in my opinion. You can roll in and offer him whatever you want, but I'm gonna be like, I have $2,000. I don't want you to touch me. I'm going to assume you're just as filthy as this van is. So here's my cash money. I'm going to set it on the hood, and you can go ahead and pick it up. And then I never want to see you again.
And you know what he's going to say? I know what I got, man.
Oh yeah,
don't lowball me.
You got a van full of bloody, ragged women's shirts, bro.
Yeah. Forget all these women's clothes. It has nothing to do with anything.
I just like to go to concerts.
And of course, this is the part where we tell people at home, we want to know what your opinions are. Underneath in the comments, email us, send us smoke signals. Let us know what your top dollar, what your bottom dollar is on something like this. Maybe we're completely overlooking something, and you reach out to us and you say, I am an expert in converted Ford Econoline vans, and I know exactly what this is worth, and it's $600. We don't know, so go ahead and reach out to us and let us know. But actually, Tony, we've got one more that we didn't show you.
I can't wait to see this.
I believe producer Nick sent it to you through Facebook. Can you see that?
I don't have a message from him.
It should be from me.
Message request, sorry.
We're kind of staying in this serial killer vein, but this is more serial killer that's like traveling Baja or something, out of country serial killer.
Yeah. God, this. Oh man,
that's cool, right?
Nick, would you go ahead and pull that up for us?
Speaking of weird Winnebago conversions.
Oh, these things. No, these things have some value.
Yeah, well, they decided it did for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So just a heads up, I found this on Craigslist 3 months ago and thought, wow, that's pretty cool. The color's dated, but everything about it's pretty cool. And then as I was taking the next exit down from my house, I look over and it's sitting in the RV lot there. And this is 3 miles from my house.
Man, that is something else. Look at that. 77 GMC Casa Grande on a Jimmy chassis. Holy smokes.
24,000 miles on the GMC.
Okay, it says manual transmission, by the way, but that's not it's only got 2 pedals, so that's wrong.
This thing is about as mint as something like this could get. Like, it's in amazing condition.
This had to have stayed in a garage, because look at how nice the fiberglass, because it's something that was sold as an aftermarket piece.
Yeah,
but even the truck itself, Tony, look at how nice that is.
The carpet, the seats, all that.
I'm just
heck. Just for our listeners, this is mid 80s Blazer or GMC Jimmy, and then instead of the tonneau, canopy thing, it's a special camper that pops into that spot, and it's like a walkthrough from the front cab into the back.
Yeah, it's actually gorgeous.
It's cool.
There is only one photo, unless I'm mistaken. There's only one photo of the inside of the camper.
Yeah, that's what's missing is where are the pictures, and I bet you the dealer didn't know this, but it's a pop top, so the top goes up.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, you can actually stand up. You can see the seam.
Look at that. Yes.
Boy, these things there are not a lot of them, and this thing is just, the stickers are beautiful. The decals, where it says Casa Grande, are beautiful. This is quite the timepiece.
It actually is. You know what? Wow. I don't know about the price. I can't really comment about the price, but I'll tell you what, this thing has got some nostalgia factor for sure.
I had thoughts about, this was my thought. There's a lot of guys right now getting, four-wheel drive Sprinter vans, and there's a lot of four-wheel drive camping stuff, a lot of people going down, the Baja Peninsula. This thing, a fraction of the price of one of those. And if you're driving this thing down to Mexico, what's that got in it? A 350, most likely? Chevy 350? I mean, that can be worked on anywhere in North America, no matter how remote or savage a village you're going into. I mean, look,
the carpet in this thing is immaculate.
No, it's
and it's 4-wheel drive. Well, it's a Blazer or Jimmy, but
I'm just saying, if you want to go down and like chase Baja 1000 trucks, I mean, not literally chase, but follow the race and camp on the beach and just park it beside beautiful translucent green water, and I mean, it would be a sweet rig to take down.
Yeah,
do something like that.
And as you said, they practically sell the parts for that 350 at 7-Eleven, so you could go anywhere and no electronics whatsoever in 77. So it's simple, and I'm impressed. Although that's a lot of bucks for something that's 40 years old.
It is. I don't know if I mentioned it yet or not for the listeners at home. I apologize. $34,995 gets this bad boy into your garage today.
Yeah, that's
So, I mean, there's going to be somebody's going to buy it, and I bet you they're going to pay that.
You think so?
As you know, 400 million people in the U.S., and you need to find one.
They've been there about 3 months now, because I drive by it almost daily, and they haven't found one the last 3 months. But it's cool, man. It's cool.
They're just waiting for that right sucker to be born.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just need to find one. But I mean, I'm sure there is a GMC Jimmy / Chevy Blazer enthusiast club, and I'm sure that these things have a lot of merit, and there's going to be that one guy who's like, I want to be the king of this club, and so I'm going to get this, and no one else is going to have it.
My thing with getting this, like, it's full of nostalgia. I just want to park it on a white sandy beach and do some surf fishing, but like, it is in such amazing, immaculate condition. When I go scraping through the trees to get to this beach, I will cry and maybe puke in my mouth thinking about what I paid for this thing. And every piece on it's almost irreplaceable camper wise, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I bet you those campers are few and far between.
Well, so here's the real question there, boys. What are we looking at then as far as a value? Like, just uneducated, top of your head. Well, you're semi-educated there, Tony. What do you think?
That's what my wife keeps telling me. Oh, $35,000 is a lot of money for this. And I don't know what the Blazers go for. That's the big factor. Those are unknown quantities.
Well, what do you think, Coy? You might be able to help us out here. Restored Blazer?
Yeah. Well, if it was an all original Blazer like that, even still, I don't see it going for more than $10,000. Like, I mean, they go pretty cheap.
I'm with you. 10 or 12, which I don't feel like is particularly cheap for something like this.
I mean, if this was just a Blazer, didn't have the camper on it, it would be one of the most immaculate, perfect ones I've ever seen in original condition. Even knowing all that, they're not that classic. Like, they're just a Blazer. They made thousands and thousands of them. I see 10 or 12,000, like you said. But then you throw that camper on, and you think, is that worth another $24,000? I mean, you can buy a huge Lance camper for something like that. I feel like, used, obviously.
This is vintage, though, Tony.
Yeah, this is some collector may. They may find somebody with $35,000, and although it's going to take a while. But
what would you do on it? Let me put it that way.
I'd go 25.
What do you think, Coy?
Because it's such a timepiece. And again, here's the thing. Let's say, like, I wouldn't take this off-roading. I would go to car shows with it. But that fridge, if it still works, it'd be full of beer. And I could go to a car show, and rather than every other guy sitting out getting a bad sunburn, I'd sit in the back of that thing and drink my beer, and everybody would be like, oh, I've never seen one of these before. And I did exactly that.
When the Casa Grande is rocking.
Yeah, that's right. I put the grande in the Casa Grande.
Extra grande. Man, I don't know. Here's one thing I found about collectors. I work with a guy that is into Honda three-wheelers, like all of them. And he showed me pictures of a dude that he bought some parts from or sold some parts. Rich dude has like 400 of these three-wheelers. Like he collects all the 80s Honda three-wheelers. He has them all. And they're like they look like showroom condition, and there's just rows of them in a warehouse as far as you can see. Hundreds of them. So there's a collector for apparently everything.
Oh, yeah.
On the other hand, this thing's sitting in the tiny town of Staten, Oregon, on a lot that's next to a small highway.
Okay, so
I'd
here's
love them to get
article on
that
Hemmings
price.
about these.
No kidding.
Yeah, Hemmings actually had a piece on them. Upgrading to option 2. So this is $350. You could get it. So it was actually sold, it looks like, by GMC as an option, and you could either get the $350 or the $400.
Oh, I do the 400 for sure.
Oh yeah.
Putting the
So there was
RV
a
cam in
Chalet
it.
and a Casa Grande, about 1,800 made. Interesting. So there's actually this may have some provenance too.
1,800 were made.
Yeah. Jimmy Casa Grande is here. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, please do.
I feel like there's a collector for everything, but $34,000 is an insane price. I feel like it sits there another 6 months. They finally just need to move it. Somebody offers them 20 and they take it.
So Tony's at 25. You're at 20.
Yeah.
I'm probably landing more in the 20,000 range because no, 25. Because here's my thing. I'm with Coy. If it was just a GMC Jimmy flat out that was restored, or a barn find with 20,000 miles on it, it would be worth about $10,000-$12,000. I figure you double it because it's got the RV top on it. We landed a solid 24,000, and that's being generous.
Okay.
That is quite the Hemmings article, though. Look at this. This is fascinating.
Yeah, this is a very dated. I love that dude's mustache and bell bottoms.
Well, I think these are pictures out of the brochure.
Yeah. But I mean, I love how dated it all is. He's wearing dungarees.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. Look at this. An original photo, and it has the tire on the front. That means that it has the original tire holder. That has got to mean something.
It doesn't have the original bug shield, though. If it did, it would have that creepy dude peeking over it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Every 80s truck that had a bug shield had like the peeping Tom thing that would stick on it. Yeah. It's like bug shield law.
Oh man, look at this. So check this out. A stainless steel tank, potable water carrying capacity of 5 gallons, a 2-burner LPG stove, and a stainless steel top and an ice box. I love that ice box. Upgrading to option package 2 gained buyers a refrigerator that operated on LPG or electrical power via an auxiliary battery and an AC-DC converter. Option package 3 increased sleeping capacity to 4 with the addition of a pair of overhead bunks of questionable space and comfort. I like that little end to that that paragraph.
So this at least has the refrigerator option, because that is definitely a two-way fridge in there.
He's right.
So this is the upgrade.
Yeah.
It doesn't say what motor's in it, but if this thing has the 400 in it, boy, you might be getting closer to the cost.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, it's not going to be a lot of people who want this at 35,000, but there's going to be that one. I mean, it's, obviously 4-wheel drive. It's in beautiful shape.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool, and I'd love to have it. And I wish this was found in my grandpa's barn.
Yeah,
because I'd tell him, "Look, man, I'm going to give you $400, and you're."
Well, and it'd almost be more fun if it were kind of ratty, and you could do the Baja thing, and you go down and you're like, I scratched it, so what? I'll rattle can that scratch, and the world will be fine.
Put more airtime on it than a skateboard at the X Games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is so cool, though, man. I'll tell you what, guys. So we got a little twofer since we're bringing the Smokin Deal or Smokin Deal back. And let us know in the comments what you think. Tony, wow, your insights today, man. I just cannot thank you enough. And I'll tell you what, the whole episode in general, I'm so glad to be talking to you again. It's been too long.
Yeah, likewise. I sincerely appreciate being here, and it's a real pleasure, and I raise a glass to you guys.
Hey, cheers to you, my friend. I appreciate you. We'll let you go, all right, buddy?
Well, thank you, and you guys have a great evening.
Oh, hold on. I'm breaking my own rule here. Where can they find you?
Stresslesscamping.com. It's our virtual campfire on the old World Wide Web.
I love it. Go and check him out, you guys. It's important. Tony, again, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
I look forward to that, and thank you.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
Very, very cool dude.
Great guest.
Yeah. Really knows his stuff. I don't know if you picked up on that or not, but when he was talking about the classic car stuff, boy, started rattling those names off, and it's like, oh, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like, interesting history, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know any of the history. I mean, I'm sure it's interesting, but not in my knowledge base.
A couple of fascinating cars for the Smokin Deal or Smokin Doob. I like doing RVs. That was cool.
I'm hoping we get a call from a detective about Smokin Deal or Smokin Doob.
Yeah. Be like, oh, your deductive skills here, really.
Basically, we did go over it with a black light, and I'd like to ask you how you knew about this. A little too much about the crime. Oh, crap.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coy, nobody better go over a black light with this episode.
Yeah, no.
Hey, thank you for being here, my friend. Appreciate you. Producer Nick, thank you. And you guys at home, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We really appreciate it. Spread the good word. If you like what we're doing here, share it with a friend. We really appreciate that. We rely on that. We appreciate you for doing it. So for Coy, producer Nick, this is Andy, and we will see you next time.